Hello to everyone, and welcome to Force of Light Entertainment.
Shelly, you didn't say it. And we are live!
She made fun of me last week, so I stopped saying it. So that's how that worked.
I liked it.
But yes, welcome to Force of Light Entertainment. I'm your host, Michelle, and with me, as always, is my co-host, my sister, Natalie.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Ginger.
Yes, she is. Well, this is episode 55 of Force of Light Entertainment. And again, for you podcast listeners, this is a live episode on YouTube, so there will be interaction. But we are going to be giving details today at the end of this video or podcast. If you're listening, we are going to be telling you how you can enter in to win the Cara Dune Funko Pop sweepstakes. So stay tuned for that. And I wanted to say quickly, before we move on, we want to say thank you for Any World But Ours for having us on his YouTube channel.
I really enjoyed that discussion.
Yes, we had a fantastic discussion. So check that out and subscribe to his channel, Any World But Ours. Fantastic discussion. Check it out. And Natalie, tell them where you will be later this afternoon.
And I will be on Bob's Adventures and Vlogs here on YouTube at 1 o'clock with our buddy Bob.
Yes. So make sure to check that out too. Yes, we will. As soon as he uploads that, we'll tweet that out too. So thank you guys for joining. Well, our Mando Season 2 conversations are beginning to wind down, guys. This is the second to last episode of Season 2, which I'm a little sad about. So we will be discussing today Chapter 15 of The Mandalorian, titled The Believer. So join the conversation and let's talk The Mandalorian. And before we get started, I'll try to go through, see the chat. Hello, Vader Girl.
Hi.
Hello, Any World But Ours.
Hey, Luke.
Hello, RFB. Hello,
hey,
Blue Harvest Toys. Hello, Simon. Hello, Gerald. Hello, Darth One. Hello, Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. And make sure to check him out as well, as we've already mentioned, Any World But Ours.
Glad you all are here.
And we got Scuba Pete in the house.
Yay,
Scuba Pete is here. Yes. And let's see, have I missed anyone? I think I've got everyone in the chat thus far. We got that monkey lizard.
We can't leave out that spicy monkey lizard.
Yes, we've got Salacious Rum in the house. And yes, so we will get started. So, and we are that's why we're running behind. Oh, and hello to Greece from Greece. I know our friend in Greece. We hope you are doing well.
Always good to have you.
Yes, and we are running just a few minutes behind for those of you in the live chat. We actually, we were up kind of late last night. We finally got our dad to begin to watch Stranger Things. And you guys know what big Stranger Things fans we are. So we were out late.
Shelly actually tapped out. She couldn't stay awake anymore. And he's like, come on, drink some coffee and let's keep watching.
Yeah, I was tired, guys. But so
we'll go back tonight and watch some more with them.
So we'll watch some more of that. So that's why we're a little running just a few minutes behind. I got up a little later than I usually do, but
I was on time.
Yeah, she was about 5 minutes after when I told her to be here, but we'll let that go.
That's on time for me.
But whatever. And also, before we get started, especially you guys that prefer to listen to us on podcast, it's about, I think, around 10 minutes long. We broke down the big Star Wars news from the Disney investor meeting. And you can find that on our YouTube channel. So make sure to check out that little discussion of us breaking down what we're excited about and the new big news we got.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Yes, definitely check that out. Okay, so Natalie, what were your initial thoughts of Chapter 15, The Believer?
Where's Baby Yoda?
That literally was basically what she texted me. So I kind of believe that is genuinely what her thoughts were.
Gut reaction.
and
I know where he is. I mean, figuratively, but
he's right here.
He's right there. Yeah.
But I will have to say, as much as I enjoyed this episode, I was kind of like, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Grogu. Like that's kind of how I felt.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's how I felt. So I was But I mean, it was still a very good episode.
Yes, it was a really good episode.
I mean, we love to see the little child.
But we will go through the things that stuck out to me and to you that I really did like about it a lot.
As Bill Burr character Mayfield said, "You mean that little green guy?" And Kara's like, "Yes, that little green guy."
Okay, and we'll elaborate, but I really enjoyed Bill Burr. As Mayfield.
Yes,
I thought he did a great job.
Well, and that's what. So my initial thoughts, since Natalie's were basically she's got a fever. My initial thoughts were it was an excellent episode, and it allowed for a lot of character development. I would say between three characters mainly: Mando, Mayfield, and Cara Dune in a way, and I'll explain that as we get into this discussion. So I thought it was an excellent episode, and to not have the child, who is such a key figure in the show,
it was still very strong.
It was still very strong, and the action. I can say this right off the bat. In initial thought territory. The scene where they are riding into that base, it so reminded me of Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I actually mentioned last week. There's a scene with the rock rolling that reminded me of that too. And this week, that whole fight where Mando is fighting the pirates, it reminded me of Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indiana is trying to get.
And man, they just kept coming.
Yep.
It was like you thought he had it, and then it was like another batch and another batch.
Well,
and again, kind of frustrating after a while.
Think of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he's trying to get on the Nazis. They're on that caravan, and he keeps, he even gets under one, and he has to come back up.
Right.
Like, that's what it reminded me.
It's like
of.
a bad dream, basically.
And we always botch his name, Rick Funyun. I can't say it.
Funyuns?
No, I can't say it. I botched it. I'm not good at pronouncing things I don't hear a lot, guys.
You just need to show it to me and hand it over.
It was the one I always gave you. But he of course did chapter 2 last season and chapter 6, which introduced Bill Burr's character. And I think he yet again did a fantastic job with this episode. Natalie, you go through those while I try.
Yes, I agree, Gerald.
The people listening don't know what you agree with.
Oh, he said another brilliant episode, chapter 15. Let's see. All we needed was Pat Roach. They got a paint job on Navarro.
I can't, guys. What is the guy's name? I can't look it up to get the spelling. Well, I feel like RFB or someone in there can give me the spelling in the chat.
I think that's the point. We are missing him. That's true. Kind of like, the time apart makes the heart grow fonder. But we're definitely missing him.
Yes.
First episode without Grogu. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is the first episode. So let's kind of move into the episode now, and we'll begin to chat it up about this episode. So I was kind of happy that they immediately went to where Mayfield, of course, Bill Burr's character, where he was in prison.
Yes.
And Cara Dune, of course, gets him out. And he at first is very thrilled to be going on this trip. He would rather just almost stay. He's kind of, what's in it for me type of personality.
Which in all honesty, I mean, I understand. It's like you're asking me to go risk my life for what?
Yes.
What do I get in return for this?
Yes, and I will say this because his character is so in this. I mean, it's just him and Mando, really. I mean, as far as the majority of the time.
Yeah.
His character to me was the least annoying of all the characters in chapter 6 last season.
Yes.
And even though he was just kind of like a high school guy that felt insecure around Mando. So he keeps throwing out he's just being mean and these ridiculous comments. But he actually made a couple comments in that episode that made me feel like he wasn't quite as bad as the other ones.
Well, and we talked about that last night. Like when he points out, for example, the Twi'leks, or is it Twi'lek or Twi'lek?
The Twi'lek.
The brother and sister, and the brother's just going to get out. And he's like, you're just going to leave your sister? Nice family.
Yeah.
So it just kind of tells you there's some morality maybe in there, or like some moral code.
Or form of honor even, or just not going to totally.
Some form of human decency is somewhere in there.
Yes, where the other guy didn't even care about his sister.
Yeah.
He's just out. So Natalie, you got to pronounce that name.
Rick.
I mean, why do we have to get
I feel like
names?
This could go south really quick, like, fuck Fuck your ma.
No, it's something Mua. I can't say it.
Fuck you more?
Natalie, just stop.
Okay.
You're worse than I am at this point. But this coat's all over me too.
Oh, you want me to take it off?
She's fine. She's fine. She's got this big coat on.
I can take it off.
It's like really puffy. It's hitting me in the side.
Pour some sugar on me. All right, let's go.
Okay. So, anyways, so we get that. We get his character right from the beginning, and pretty much the episode is off, and it is pretty much sheer action. And of course, we got Cara, we've got Fennec and Boba Fett, and of course Mando. And basically, the episode is them having to, because they need to find out where Moff Gideon is. And that's why they need Mayfield. And Mayfield tells them that he has to basically hook up to an Imperial machine, like a computer database, to find this information. And she misspelled it. Let's see. Yeah, I thought it was misspelled, but I couldn't.
Funky Mama.
We give up. I'm just going to call him Rick. He's Rick. Rick F. That's his name.
Mr. F.
But he does a fantastic job. But so anyway, so they've got to get into this. He gives them the name of an Imperial base, and they're off there. And it gets kind of interesting in the beginning because they, in order to get in, Mando says, I can't take you, Cara, because they'll scan your face and know it, and basically we'll be in trouble. And then he can't take Fennec Shan because she's wanted by them too. And then it was funny, kind of a funny little insider thing when he asked Boba Fett, and he's like, let's just say they know my face, because his face is all of the clones.
Yeah.
So then Mando is the only one left. And so Mando sees, I can put a different helmet on and go. So of course they're off, and they are taking, and maybe one of you can put in the comments, I forget now the name of what they're carrying, but it's highly explosive. And they've got to get into this Imperial base, which of course,
I forgot what it was called. But
yes,
I'm loving some of you guys' comments. By the way, that's why I'm smiling like an idiot over here while Michelle's talking. But let's see. Oh, and I wanted to. How do you go up, Michelle? Somebody had made a point, or let's see, Nicole. Hi, ladies. Hello, Nicole.
Hello,
Miss Grogu. But I'm glad she's safe with you, ladies.
Yes, he is safe. He's safe in my arms. Are
and
you
then
still looking
this
for something?
Simon Richardson, let's see. Sebastian Stan and Millie Bobby Brown, as you know, would make Star Wars life right now perfect. Totally agree.
Yeah, I like it. So anyways, of course, basically the rest of the thing is them trying to get in, and of course they have to deal with pirates and all that, and to get into this base. So like I said in my initial thoughts, I think that their fight scene, I thought the fight scene was excellent on top of the roof, because Mando has been able to rely on his Beskar armor for this whole season.
And it just kind of showed you how crappy the stormtrooper armor is. Like, it was kind of like breaking, like when it had impact, and not a lot of protection there.
Yes. And but it allowed you to see then what an excellent fighter he is. It made him rely on his abilities again, and he's able to take care of them. And I want to say, Nicole pointed out, I forgot that, Nicole, good, thank you, that the chemical that they're taking was also seen in Star Wars Rebels with Sabine.
But I take it it's something that has the power to really blow crap up.
Yes, it's very explosive, and that's why they have to keep it steady. There were a few things about this episode, and you guys let us know what you think, that reminded me of Solo. Kind of that whole scene where they're having to keep that stuff steady so they don't blow up in Solo. And then even when they get into the Imperial base, it really reminded me of when Solo goes and signs up with the Imperials in Solo: A Star Wars Story. So it had some Solo vibes at times too in this episode that were that I really liked. I enjoyed, but that's what it reminded me of. But I think too what this episode did good at. So there was some great action, but then even in the car or whatever tank, whatever you want to call it, that they're riding, Natalie, did you not appreciate? I thought there was some. Bill Burr's character Mayfield was kind of making you question some things that I think were good to question as a character.
like in regards to his exchanges with
With
Mando,
Mando.
about the
helmet.
He did it in such a comical kind of needing type of way. But yes, it was good. But I told Michelle, I almost got to the point like I felt bad for Mando because it's like, okay, ease off of him. But I think it was kind of.
I don't think he did it too.
I don't think it was from a bad place looking back.
No, I think like he needled him more in the episode chapter 6 where they first meet. He was just mean. In this one, it is a little bit needling, but more just like making him question some things.
Yeah, it's kind of like back when women couldn't wear pants, and it's like, wear pants. Like, it's a lot more comfortable with them on.
Well,
it's like, he's like, it's a lot more comfortable with this thing off.
Well, no, I'm saying like their whole conversation of, he says, so what is it? Is it you have to keep the helmet on?
Right.
Or just any helmet?
Yes.
Like, or you can't show your face?
What are the rules here?
Yeah, what are your rules? And it's almost should make Mando question some of the just how strict some of his rules have been. And I feel like that has been a point of this entire season. This whole season has made Mando rethink what he was raised to know, which also harkens back to The Empire Strikes Back, where Yoda tells Luke that you must unlearn what you have learned. And I feel like that statement has almost been Mando throughout this season.
And I think he's going to get there. In a sense, it's sort of like his past and what he's been taught. It's kind of like we would view legalism in the past.
Yeah, or any raising in a cult, anything.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Like people, if you're truly been raised to believe something so
and that's
strongly,
all you know.
Yes, it's just so he's having to question some things. But I thought the whole discussion between him and Mayfield was really excellent. Oh, and then we did get an awesome Cara moment where she's the one that pretty much wrecks shop when she is the one that just slams those.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved that. I mean, that was peak Cara Dune.
It is. I mean, that's Cara Dune. Like that's what Gina Carano. That's why she was such great casting, and you see why.
Her physicality, and it's totally believable too. I mean, I always say that, but just like she goes in there and just puts them together. I mean, it just amazing.
Yeah, would it be believable if she's this tiny, frail little woman and she can do this? But her fighting is just so you believe it.
Like she looks like she could kick a man's butt.
Yeah, like she looks like some of the few women that could genuinely take out a decent amount of men physically.
Yes.
Like so that was awesome. It was quick, but it was really good. And I enjoyed even her without even saying a lot to one another. I just enjoyed her and Fennec Shan working together because again, I loved Fennec Shan, the woman who played her. She was my favorite character really in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when I watched that. So I've enjoyed them interacting. And both seen what skilled shooters they all are. In fact, you see what skilled sharpshooters those two are and Mayfield is by the end of this episode. Blue Harvest Vintage Toys, for those of you listening, says that Cara can kick his butt anytime.
Totally.
And I feel like there's quite a few men who feel that way, if they're being honest. And I'm not going to say what Salacious said for those listening, but...
And it is related to one of his last YouTube videos, by the way. The monkey lizard has a little accident.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Check out Salacious Rum's channel
if you want to keep things spicy.
Yes, but yes, so that was cool. And okay, guys, something that was awesome. And I love that again, Mayfield's character basically just says for us what the audience is thinking. There's never been a time in Star Wars before where I literally got excited when TIE fighters came in and blew things up.
Yes, yeah.
And Bill Burr's character, of course, Mayfield, he says to Mando, "Never thought you'd be excited to see stormtroopers. What did you?"
But they kind of saved the day for them.
They did, yes.
Unknowingly,
which
they were doing.
Which is kind of an interesting point that in all reality, typically Mando wouldn't be fighting the pirates who are trying to stop the Empire from getting explosive material.
True. So there's a lot of kind of backwards things in this to get this mission done.
It just shows again how much the child means to him. And it's like which was a point in Mayfield's conversation with Mando, where he says, you and I are a lot alike. And Mando says, no, we're not. And for the most part, they aren't. I think Mando...
You aren't.
They aren't. But Mando could have kept going down that path and been like Bill Burr's character. But because of the child, he began going back more the other way. And that is, to me, we discussed that.
Love can do that.
Yes, but we discussed that in our conversation with Coruscant Radio Underground about how in Star Wars, no character is allowed to stay in the middle, neutral, or in the gray. Like they have to either...
You gotta pick a side.
You either go to the light or to the dark. Like every character. And we see that with Mayfield by the end of this episode. But anyways, he kind of says to Mando, basically kind of like, in the right circumstances, anyone can be dragged down.
Yes.
And I mean, that is really true.
Realistic, yeah.
It is. And we see what Mando's willing to do for the child all throughout this episode. So they get in there, and Mayfield can't go in there because there's an officer who may recognize his face. At which point, yet again, we see the love that Mando has for his little green son, basically. Because Mando,
and just how much it's changed him, and he's evolved as a person.
Yes, because he is willing in front of people. Key thing there, in front of multiple people. Not even
just one.
Yes.
Several people in a room.
To take off his helmet. So we get the reveal of Pedro Pascal, and this time, as Natalie pointed out, he actually looks, pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Instead of the matted hair and the blood that he had last time.
They did him wrong in that but appearance last season.
But at least it was realistic.
It was realistic. But I'm like, he's much better looking man than this.
Yeah, so he got to shine with his helmet off. And he kept it off for a while. In this.
Brother Brown Eyes.
Yeah, Brown. That was so well played by Mayfield too.
Yeah.
When him recognizing.
He's deaf.
Yeah, like he's deaf, like he can't hear good because of an accident.
We just call him Brown Eyes.
Yeah. And of course, then they have to have this conversation with this Imperial officer. And here's kind of where you see, I know Brad from the Scarif podcast, he pointed out that you kind of see PTSD.
Yes.
Where
this was actually my favorite part of the whole episode, this interaction between Mayfield and this officer.
Yes, who's just so gross, by the way. Like how, as they begin to discuss, as Mayfield brings up Operation Cinder, which is a callback to the video game Battlefront 2, and for him to bring that up and everything that he was there where so many of his fellow peers lost their lives and people were killed by the Empire. And this guy's just like, yeah, but it was good for the Empire. And I love Mayfield said,
but was it? Was it good for the?
Yeah, he says, was it good for the people that died?
Yeah.
Like, and it was just so, man.
Like there was so much anger tangibly beneath the surface for him. Like you could feel how much he felt, this was wrong. And it's like, and I told Michelle when we were talking about it, it's like he could have easily just played it off, laughed, had a drink with them, and gotten out of there, probably much more easily. But I love that his conviction rose up in him. And he's like, no, I'll do it with a smile, but like, I'm going to confront your dirty butt, right on, right here, right now. And, and I kind of saw it coming, what ended up happening. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Someone, for those of you listening, Darth One says, I love how uncomfortable he was. Yeah. All three of them were kind of uncomfortable.
And that he was willing to challenge this evil authority. He wasn't just going to sit there and take it. He was going to challenge him on it and then ultimately pull out his gun. And not that I'm advocating violence, but I mean, it's just like,
well, and
guy's an evil dude.
It kind of reminds us, we cover this, you guys know we love Wonder Woman.
Well, and it showed the depth to his character and how much he does have a heart and does have morals inside.
Yeah, well, it makes you understand where he's coming from much more. That's what I'm saying. It was amazing character development for Mayfield's character in this episode. But it harkened back to me. It made me think of, since Patty Jenkins is now in the Star Wars world, guys, it made me think of Wonder Woman, where she says to the generals, you hypocrites, you send people to fight your wars and you don't go.
Right.
And it's kind of like that. Like it truly is so disgusting when generals don't care if they send people in knowing they're going to die, like that they have no value of people, of soldiers' lives.
Like it touched something in me, even personally. Like I'm trying to get this out in words or like to say it, but it's just like you can just sit there sometimes and like smile and nod, but it's like sometimes you have to stand up and say no to bullcrap, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And Darth,
yes, he was definitely uncomfortable.
Mando was
well, and a point I want to make about that interaction was, you know, Mando was kind of looking at him, kind of like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
you know, like we can just get out of this. But I loved the way it went down.
Yes. Yeah, it was just a fantastic scene, and it just made you, it really endeared you fully to Mayfield.
Yes.
Like you truly felt for him in that moment. And I think even Mando probably felt for him, but he's still more concerned, obviously, for the child.
Like, we got to get this mission done and get out of here.
Yes. So then you had to kind of love, it was kind of Solo-like when Mayfield just blows the guy away. And Natalie, I don't know if you noticed, and you guys in the chat let me know, I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but someone posted, is the gentleman who played the Imperial officer, I saw someone post that it's the same guy who plays, I don't even know the character, but the ice guy that what's her name kills.
Are you talking about like the bad evil, like
he's bluish
head of
ice
the, okay, I don't know.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, because they kind of set him up at the beginning and that becomes a major like battle at the end.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's the same guy or not. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so let us know if you guys know that. I saw someone just post 2 pictures. Maybe that wasn't the way, that maybe they just, I don't know, thought they had similar vibes, but I thought they said it was the same actor. So I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Can we talk about the fact Mando's face was scanned and approved? Yes. Okay. So Mando's face was scanned by the Empire.
You know, that did kind of, I was a little curious about that.
And what are you guys' thoughts on that? Because it's almost like, because one, they shouldn't have Mando's face.
That's
because no one's seen his,
like, okay, that passed. Like,
well, to me, it was almost like those dumb things that you guys have to do, that we have to do sometimes, where it's like, you know, to make sure you're not a robot, click all the street lights in these pictures. Dun, 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 dun.
And sometimes like, is this a trick question?
But it kind of felt like that. Like, it just show you're human.
Yeah.
Because the Empire.
So maybe that's all it was.
Because the Empire notoriously like hated other species.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm kind of wondering. Was it just kind of,
so they were like species phobic, basically.
Basically, like they were other species-ist.
Yeah.
Is kind of what they were. So that's kind of what maybe I question, but I bet they do have his face on record now. Right. So that is a thing. So we'll see where that
they
leads.
Were Darth One says they were checking to ensure he was not wanted by the Empire.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So then, yes. Okay. That is a solid point. So, and he shouldn't, I almost doubt they would have his face on file.
Yeah.
So I mean, clearly he checked out, but because that's not what tips them off that they're not supposed to be there. It would be Mayfield shooting the guy in the chest.
that would do it.
And then I thought the whole escape was great, of them kicking out the window basically and having to climb. And then you've got Finnick and Cara, and they're just blasting people. And you see their skill. And
you want them on your side.
You do.
People out, because they were excellent, top notch.
And you know what that reminded me of? You guys, if you followed on Twitter, I'm now almost to the very end of season 2 of my rewatch of Daredevil. Those 2 of them taking them out as they were moving reminded me of the end of season 2, where the Punisher is just taking people out so Daredevil can go on the roof.
I still have to watch that, or Michelle's going to get me.
She needs to tell her guys she needs to watch Daredevil. It's so good. I'm talking about the Marvel show.
I'm going to watch it in all seriousness.
But it reminded me of that. It was a great scene of those 2 taking out, just picking them off as they were moving up. And then of course Boba Fett moves in to get them out. And good old Bubba now.
And even though, you know, his role was smaller in this episode, once again, just securing the fact we like this character.
We do. I'm a fan.
I know some of you all always liked him, but you know, much like Michelle, I was kind of like, about him, you know, until the Mandalorian.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And yeah, I agree, Blue Harvest, that no one would have his face. But as Darth pointed out, that they now have it for the future. So that I think that is definitely true. But anyways, so then you finally get the kind of the culmination of what Bill Burr's character arc goes to as far in this episode and the growth. You see that he literally takes his gun, and again, you see his skill as a sharpshooter. I can't speak today. Sharpshooter for the Empire, and he with one shot, boom, just like, and it blows up.
And I love that, and once again, kind of like you saying, I think there is definitely some PTSD involved for his character. And it's like, it's not enough just what went on back there. Like, I and my conscience need to finish this if I can. I need to make sure another civilization isn't killed and wiped out like I witnessed.
Yes, and I love, he says, basically, now I can sleep at night.
Yeah.
Like it was truly great character development.
Right.
So it was just and then I love that I think Kara's like, good shot. And she does say that because that's when she sees him do that,
yes.
you
it's
knew
like,
what she was gonna do.
Okay, he's the real deal. He's not like this bad guy.
Yes.
Oh, and another thing I wanted to touch on, I loved when Bill Burr, he gave him a hard time about the helmet and all that, but when he says just kind of totally serious, he's like, I never saw your face.
Yes. Yes.
Just like, I don't know. He just really, like, he was just a great character in this episode.
Because again, in chapter 6, all he did was give Mando a hard time. And for him, because Mando...
But he knew it was serious to him, and he just wanted to honor that right there. Like, it didn't happen.
Well, and I think because they both were vulnerable in that scene. They both were vulnerable.
Right. Yeah.
Mayfield,
in their own ways. Yeah.
Mayfield is vulnerable, expressing all this pent up emotion he's held on to of what he's been through, and he's letting it out.
Right.
It's almost like a therapy session.
Yeah.
And then Mando is
confronting evil, literally.
Yes. Din Djarin is vulnerable because people are seeing his face, and that hasn't happened, as he said in chapter 4, since he was like just a child.
Yes.
So he had to feel vulnerable. So I mean, it's just awesome. So then, of course, they pick up they give Bubba, they give him his moment to shine in this episode, because what a cool visual where the TIE fighters come after him, and that kind of almost like shield like bomb he lets out.
Yes.
I mean, that was so cool. I've never seen anything like that in Star Wars. I thought that was just so awesome.
Yes.
That what his the Slave One dropped, and that weapon that he used. That was awesome. I loved it. So of course then they land, and I love, is it Kara who initiates it? I think so. When she's like,
didn't he die? He died in yeah, that was so good. So well played.
She's like,
and Amanda's like, yeah, he did. Let's, they just immediately played along with each other.
And I love,
and he's kind of just his face, like, what's going on here? Is this really what I think?
And I mean, dang, Bill Burr, we've got to give that man credit for his acting.
Yes.
He was able to act very like serious with emotion. And then, like, say in that moment, he's like, are you guys saying I can go? Like, like he brings back the humor as quickly as he can go serious. He can go to comedic.
And that's what, and that scene that I loved, it's like he deserves, I think I didn't realize more credit with his acting abilities. Like you said, he is a comedian first, but his ability to go serious, like I didn't realize he had that range.
Yes. And as I point out to Natalie, he's now been in 2 big shows, being Breaking Bad and now this.
Yes.
I mean, but I will say this, and then I'll go back to Bill Burr's character. Scuba Pete says, I'm still geeking out over Slave One interior rotating. That was cool. That shot is when they first get in it.
Right.
That was super cool. Oh, and hello to the Red 5 Network. Thank you for joining. And guys, make sure we are a proud member of the Red 5 Network. So make sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel. And also visit red5network.com to see all of the podcasts that are available there.
Absolutely.
So check that out. But yes, so then too, did you guys notice? I thought it was such good humor that if you notice, Natalie, it's like Bill Burr or Mayfield. He would let all the kind of these one-liners when they were all together that were funny,
right?
But no one acted like they were funny. And to me, that was funny.
Right.
The fact that I, as the audience, am laughing because it is funny, but they, as the characters, are just kind of like.
And I've been there. You land a joke and you're like, all right, that wasn't well received, but it's all right. I'll keep going.
Yeah, it was pretty hysterical, I thought. Let's see. I'm trying to find the let's see. Nicole, what do we got here? She said Mando and Mayfield both grew in character in an amazing way. Mayfield is an inspiration, redeemed and overcoming the cards he was dealt.
Absolutely. It's
yes.
Powerful, really.
Yes, absolutely. What she said, and that was one of the things I tweeted out when I said another great episode, and I mentioned redemption. Because at the heartbeat of Star Wars will always be a tale of redemption. Again, in Star Wars characters, that when people keep wanting gray, we don't really get gray. That would be anti-Star Wars, really.
Yeah.
Because in Star Wars, they may start gray, like Han Solo or Mando.
You can't straddle the fence.
No. Star Wars is truly about people making up decisions and either going towards the light or towards the darkness. There is no staying in the middle. Like you're going towards one of the two options. And I thought it was just fantastic development by in this episode for that character.
Yes.
I mean, it truly made me. I thought Bill Burr being in Chapter 6 was a lot of fun, but I truly enjoy this character and will look forward. I bet he'll be back in season 3.
I mean, he was the standout of this episode for me.
Yes, and I mean, I don't know what competition he'll have. He really, and I don't know if they'll give a show like this kind of well, no, they do for Stranger Things and things. I think he deserves to be nominated for the Emmy for a guest actor.
I do too.
Like, that's how good his acting was as Mayfield.
Yes.
Because there was so much range that we saw.
So much back and forth.
Yes, that we saw in this. So then it ends. Of course, Mayfield gets to go off and be free. And
I was like, I don't know how he's going to get it right out of here, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. He's a crafty guy.
Yeah, he's crafty. He'll figure it out. So then we get the very final shot of Moff Gideon.
Oh, bye, Scuba. Thanks for coming.
Oh, yes. I'll have fun at work.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotta make that money. So
May
I
the
understand.
Force be with you.
Yes. And this is the way. So, but yes, so it finally ends with Mando having a message for Moff Gideon. And I love that he quotes what Moff Gideon said to them at the end of Chapter 7 of last year.
Yeah.
Like, you have no clue what you are in possession of.
Right.
And that whole speech. And again, you just see the love that Mando has for this kid. And he tells him that you have no clue what this child means to me. And I just think that whole end was great.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that line. So tearjerker of the episode. Yes. Like, that was so sweet to me. Like, you have no idea what he means to me.
Yes.
And he was just really kind of vulnerably putting himself out there to the enemy.
Yes. And Darth once said gave me chills. I mean, it was great. It was an awesome scene. It reminded me of Liam Neeson in Taken, where he's like, I have a certain set of skills, where he gives the phone call of like, I will hunt you down and kill you after they take his daughter.
Right.
Like that's kind of what that reminded me of. And Moff Gideon has no clue what's about to hit him and what's coming for him.
I like Nicole Miller, Moff Gideon. You had
Nicole Marie.
Nicole Marie. Did I say Nicole Gideon?
You did.
I mixed up the names in the comment. Moff Gideon, you had it coming.
Oh,
definitely.
Yes, and Blue Harvest is quoting Liam Neeson. I have a specific set of skills. That was literally what Mando was like at the end of this episode. So Moff Gideon needs to be afraid, people. And hello, Simplify Danny. Hi. This is my favorite episode of the season so far. I mean, it was an excellent episode.
It was.
I mean, fantastic. There have not been any bad episodes in this season. I mean, it's just been an incredible season.
As I've made very apparent, I loved episode 2. Or,
yeah.
I don't know what chapter it was.
Chapter 10. Chapter 10.
Chapter 10. I loved it. I know it wasn't always well received.
I know, we love it.
There hasn't been a bad episode.
Yes. So it is.
Yeah, where is Shabby, by the way?
Shabby,
where are you?
He says he's busy with his orders for Christmas. Hey, we understand, guys. We understand. Totally.
We do love us some Shabby.
He really, Moff Gideon did look kind of concerned. And the only thing,
Yeah.
the
He
only
played that well on his face.
the only thing, which to me was still worth it because the moment was so great, but so much of Star Wars fighting is basically like guerrilla warfare. So the fact he gave up the element of surprise was a little shocking to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's not good. They're about to roll in like a boss. And they're
And I mean, I will say, as much as I loved his comment about you have no idea how much he means to me, it's like he must feel pretty confident they're not going to actually harm him. You know what I'm saying? Because that could be giving ammunition to harm him. But I think he must know they're not going to because they need him for what they're doing.
Red 5 says, what if Gideon wins? And what if he becomes the worst of the worst? We'll get into that. Well, okay. So that is kind of our thoughts on, and guys, who do you think is the believer? As the title, is the believer Bill Burr? Mayfield's character?
Yeah.
Like, I guess so. Like
Right.
him. Because you guys let us know in the chat, who do you believe the believer is in this? That was kind of an interesting thing. Usually the titles are super easy for me to figure out. Let's see. Simplify.
Good
Question. Do you think Fennec and Boba Fett will stay good or turn heel? I got weird vibes by Fennec. I understand.
Interesting. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I think Fennec is kind of alarmed. She's just protecting. She's just with Bubba, and now she's having to go. They could, but
she's kind of just doing her duties. I don't feel like her heart's really in it or anything. It's just this is what she has to do.
I think
but right now it's working for good. But
they better not kill Fett. I don't think they will. I mean,
I agree.
Why bring him back from the dead, so to speak, just to kill him a few episodes later? I mean, they could. It just doesn't make much sense to me to do that story-wise. So now that we're finished, let's get in. It's our last time this season, guys.
Maybe yes, I didn't think about that.
Maybe next week.
Possibly maybe.
On The Mandalorian. Okay. So obviously we are now set up for a massive battle between Moff Gideon and these Imperials versus and guys, do you think will we see Grief Karga again?
I just was thinking that.
Yeah, like
I told Michelle that's another thing. It's like he's been in one episode. Like I need me some more Grief Karga.
He said Disney has a habit of killing off our favorite characters. They really do. And that's why I'm almost to the point. I don't know.
They do have that.
Outside of them pulling a Stranger Things and maybe killing like a Fennec, I don't know that anyone needs to die that we love in the season.
In the main inner circle.
Because it's like Disney has killed off so many characters. Like we don't always need a character to die. Like occasionally, sure, to keep the stakes high, but it's just like we don't always need that. And it's just
we don't.
So I hope they don't. And I would say, I think, okay, if they have any plans for a Boba Fett spinoff, I bet Fennec lives to be the co-female lead in that show.
Yes, exactly.
So it just kind of depends on their plans.
Totally agree. He needs to be in the finale. I mean, he's part of the crew.
Yes, and I hope that we do get Grief Karga back. I mean, he's just part of that original crew that we love. Red 5 says, has Grogu had breakfast yet? Make sure he's had breakfast. Hey guys, he's already had 2 scrambled eggs.
She's an excellent mother, I have to say.
Yeah, so
we never needed Han to die. I mean, I agree. I think there was that kind of Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that was definitely Harrison Ford getting what Harrison Ford wanted.
And that's why I was shocked I was glad at least he came back for that part in Return. What am I saying?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Well, and it was kind of like
that was a great moment, but I was kind of surprised he even offered to do that.
It was kind of too like once Carrie Fisher died in the natural, could we at least keep Luke alive? I mean, do we have to kill all 3
Can
of
we
them?
have somebody?
I mean, so I hope no one dies at the end of this. I really do. I hope at least no one that we really have attachments to, like we had said at the beginning, kind of the season, kind of follow Stranger Things. Stranger Things doesn't kill off their main group.
They have a good formula.
But they're good at developing characters so they can die and it be emotional.
That you get somewhat attached to, and they're a good person, and and that makes you think like, oh, the stakes are high, but it's like their core group is not going to die.
Yeah, so I hope, and I agree. I missed having the original on screen together again. That was kind of upsetting, so I agree with that. But so so what do we guys think? What's going to happen next week? I think
it's a matter of, we know it's going to be a showdown, but who all is going to be there for that showdown?
And I do believe we will get Bo-Katan at some point in the next episode, because again, she's looking for the Darksaber, and who has the Darksaber?
Their paths will ultimately collide, I think.
Yes, and I think Fett will remain loyal. There's something about him that I love, his sense of duty and loyalty. I just think he's solid at this point.
He's a boss.
Yeah, he is. I think he'll help. Yes, he caught my little harken back to the episode or chapter 2 controversy with the eggs.
Oh, yes.
But anyways, so basically, I believe we are heading to a showdown between Mando and Moff Gideon, Moff having the Darksaber and Mando having the Beskar spear that we know he has.
Yes.
So they're going to have that. And I told you this. They have now made a point twice to have Mando tell Grogu, take it. Like, take this from me. I really believe that they're foreshadowing. I think in some moment, maybe Moff Gideon's about to strike and kill, not Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon. Yeah. Maybe he's about to strike and kill Mando, and the child is going to take it. I really think we're going to see the child, he's going to take something.
And honestly, that's one of my favorite things in Star Wars, is that moment, at the right moment, sometimes the last moment, that lightsaber just goes to somebody's hand just when they need it.
Yes.
So we shall see if that will happen in this episode.
Yes. I think so. I mean, maybe not, but I just feel they foreshadowed that. And then I could definitely see, and hello to Ben, by the way. I did not see you in the chat. Hello to Ben.
Hey, Ben. I was hoping the Rachel Crest is the hero death for the season.
Do you know, I had the thought of that, because that was a massive loss that they dealt us. So I'll be happy if that's the only death that we endure in this season.
Much so, like, I was listening to Adam and Josh's podcast, or
from a certain point of view.
And Adam was saying it was actually kind of hard. He was so shaken by that being destroyed, it was kind of hard to be upset by anything else the rest of the episode. And I mean, I get that. Yeah. Because they become a character.
Yes. I think too, let's see. I think too that as Nicole says, she says, I hope to see Grogu. I can't speak today. Grogu grow a little more in the last episode. I think we will. I think we'll see. I believe he's remembering all of his training, and I believe it's gonna come out. I think you're gonna see some of those, as you saw at the end of chapter 6, him throwing them around. I think you're going to see that.
Oh, another good point. This is just interesting from last episode. Something that I think Josh, from a certain point of view, had brought up, because I kind of had that thought. I hadn't said it, but it's like, did it not seem like maybe when he was in that trance almost, like he sort of emerged from that with a little more power?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not, but it almost kind of seems like it's like it invigorated something inside of him, because I mean, he was like taking care of business.
Well,
I mean, he still gets very tired, of course.
That's a great point, and it's probably because he truly was so tapped into the Force in that time. So he's probably just a little more tapped in, like zeroed in with the Force. And I think this is a great question from Simplify Danny. How damaged or dark emotionally will Grogu be after the stint of captivity?
Yeah.
He could be going through something and have to work through it. This show is so, overall, the tone of the show is so happy. I feel like he'll work through it quickly, if that makes sense. Just for the sake of the show, really.
And I think we have to remember, he's been through a lot before.
He has.
I mean, little guy's been through some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's lived through some stuff, for sure. And still has such an amazing little optimistic, happy personality. But realistically, he would if it was not a show. So they may show that a little bit in next season.
Michelle, and I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
$1 million question. Do you think Mando will get him back this season?
I think so.
I mean, I hope so.
Again, I told you, I believed several chapters ago, I believe there were one of two paths. Either the season would end with Moff Gideon having possession of the child, or Moff Gideon would get him before then. And I even called that it would be chapter 6 and, episode 6. And so now I believe it's the second option. They'll get him back by the end of season 2. I believe they'll
Yes.
end with more of a happy thing. And I think it does set up, could the final moment of this episode, the coming episode, be some reveal of who heard Grogu's call in the Force?
Yes.
That's what I think it could end on. Because that would be jarring of enough to make us all have to wait a year to see the rest.
Right.
So,
like, that could be the cliffhanger.
yes, I don't
As
think,
opposed to him still being with Moff Gideon.
I don't think Jon Favreau wants to ruin our Christmas, guys. I don't think he wants us to leave knowing that Grogu is still with Moff Gideon. And
No.
I do hope, I don't know. Do you guys think Moff Gideon could die at the end of the season? He's such a good villain. I feel like you almost waste him if he dies this fast.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we discussed that, and it's like, yes, you could have somebody, you know, that's above him we don't know about, or something to replace him. But Juan, how do you say his last name?
Esposito, Carlos.
Carlos Esposito. He's such a great actor.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, it's kind of hard to replace his level of, you know, what he can bring to a villain.
Can I just point out the way Juan Carlos Esposito even does his turn in his cape? It is so dead on of what you imagine an Imperial officer being. Like, his acting is just, he's just such a great actor. He's a fantastic actor.
Michelle, I think this is for you. Talk positive to the child while he is safe at your home, hiding from those Imperial stinkers. And
Yes.
I like the stinkers
Yes.
reference.
Yes, we will. And Grogu will be fine, guys. He's going to be fine. Emotionally, he will be fine. He's a strong little guy.
He's very resilient.
He is.
He
And
just needs a lot of TLC.
and overall, he's just a happy child. He truly
Yes.
is.
I
He's
just love him so much.
I know we love him so much, and I believe they will end the season with him. Let's see. I think he will be saved because I think we'll focus the next year of both Grogu and Mandu trying to discover the mystery of their past childhood. That's an interesting thought.
I like that. I
Yeah.
actually really like that direction.
Yeah, that is interesting. So I think he will be found, and I think that we're in for an epic battle. I just think, regardless, I hope next week is kind of on par with chapter 1. That was almost episode 1 of season 2. I hope it's almost an hour because I just feel like there's a lot we can do.
Yes.
And I just want it to be
to unpack,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think they've not let us down so far. So I don't think they'll let us down. So I'm excited for what happens.
I told Michelle the only real negative of this episode for me it was like so many other episodes, it left me like, dang it, now I have to wait a week to see what happens.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, but Friday can't come soon enough.
Yeah, so that's kind of it for our conversation on our discussion on chapter 15, The Believer. All right, guys. Now we're going to give you, and those of you,
Now our last segment.
yes, for those of you listening on podcast, you can also enter. In order to enter to win the Cara Dune Funko Pop sweepstakes, here's all you have to do. Either today or tomorrow, we are going to be uploading our little kind of breaking down all the Marvel content that we got from the Disney investor meeting. And all you have to do when that video is uploaded, you will one, you have to be a subscriber. But secondly, you just have to like or give a thumbs up and leave a comment letting us, we'll tell you then what to comment. But just leave a comment and your name will automatically be entered to win the Cara Dune Funko Pop. So
Yes.
that's how that will go. And again, we will upload that either today or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for our Marvel talk of what's coming in the world of Marvel. But yeah, that is it for this episode of Force of Light Entertainment. And as always, we appreciate you guys for joining the conversation and listening, and be on the lookout for more of our episodes.
And thank you, Simon. Great chat, guys. Well, you guys make it awesome.
Yes.
Honestly, you guys are the real MVPs.
Yes, thank you for, of course, everyone listening on podcast, but everyone watching and everyone who joined the live chat. You guys make it so much fun. We've so enjoyed having it. Thank you, Vader Girl. We so enjoy having these discussions with you guys and being able to be able to talk and hear what you guys are saying. And yes, Red 5 family strong.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, so be on the lookout for our videos. And of course, next week we will be discussing the final chapter of season
Kind of
2.
bittersweet.
It is bittersweet, but we've got a lot of awesome content coming in 2021. But yeah, so that is it. And you can reach out to us on, Force of Light Entertainment on Twitter and Instagram. And If you are new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and also give
It's
the video. Yeah, it's free 99, guys. And also give the video a thumbs up. But that is it for this episode of Force of Entertainment. And until next time, may the Force be with you.
Always.
Yes. See you guys.
Bye, guys.